whole experience for you?
Well, back then is different than it is now. When you got drafted, you waited, in your living room or whatever, waiting for the phone call that
Right.
you're gonna get drafted. Uh, when I was at Notre Dame, I was thinking about leaving my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
My mother made me go back to school. I
Okay.
end up being drafted into my junior year. I left school a year early.
Right.
I ended up being drafted at the same position. I was drafted number 6.
Okay.
There were 5 other ball players that were drafted ahead of me.
You remember? Do you remember any of them?
Oh, I remember all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, number 1 was John Lucas, who was
Yep.
from
John
Murray.
Lucas. Yeah.
And when I was at the master, John Lucas, and they recruited me, and I said, "Look, there's no sense for me coming here, man. It's not enough balls."
Right. Right. You got to get your own shine.
And another school I was
Okay.
interested in going to, I forgot to mention, was North Carolina State.
Okay.
So when David Thompson was a sophomore,
Uh huh.
I was a senior at the Mather,
Okay.
and he wanted me to come to North Carolina State, but I didn't go. So every time I see him,
Uh huh.
uh, when I was a sophomore at Notre Dame, I was a first-team All-American.
Okay.
He's first-team All-American as a senior
Okay.
at North Carolina State.
Uh huh.
There's nowhere in the world we both would have been
Right.
first-team All-American. Nowhere I would have been a first-team
Right.
All-American if I'd have gone to
Not
North
enough
Carolina
basketballs,
State.
right? Not enough basketballs. Not enough basketballs. All right. So you get drafted. Utah,
No, I got drafted by Buffalo Braves,
Buffalo Braves. Now,
who were the LA Clippers.
right,
Right.
LA Clippers.
Right.
All right. So
Right.
did you ever suit up for them, or did you just end up at Utah? How did
No, no,
that
no,
go?
no, no, no. I went to Buffalo, got drafted,
Mm-hmm.
started, was rookie of the year
Okay.
my first year at Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had some rough experiences,
Mm-hmm.
crazy trades.
Uh-huh.
Most people remember me when I was at Utah.
Yeah.
So I was at Utah for 8 years.
Right. You were Daryl Griffith, right?
Daryl Griffin was like 3 years younger than me.
Okay.
And pretty good player.
Uh-huh.
So we had a little bit of success
Okay.
at Utah.
All right. What do you remember about the city of Buffalo from back then? I know it was cold because it's always cold. Is that the?
That's all I remember.
That's all you remember?
It was very cold, but when you're a young guy coming into the league, you don't really care about
Really?
the weather. It didn't bother me. I just wanted to play. I mean, your first year, you're excited.
Right.
So
Okay.
the weather didn't bother me at all.
Okay. All right. And then you said the next stop, well, or one of the next stops with Utah. How cool? How was that for you? What was that experience like? Because you're coming from
Yeah.
you're past being here in the D.C. area because you went to Notre Dame for 3 years.
Well, Utah was part of. I was like part of family there.
Mhm.
It really didn't bother me. Most of the, African American basketball players that went to Utah, they really didn't like it. Me,
Okay.
it didn't bother me. But had a great 8 years there.
Mhm.
Loved the people there. Didn't get along with the coach. We had a little difference of opinion.
Uh-huh.
I held out one year, and he
Okay.
never got over it. So
Really?
then that's when he traded me to Detroit.
Okay. You went to Detroit, and then it was almost like as if, because back when I was coming up watching basketball, Utah wasn't on TV a lot. But we used to see you in Sports Illustrated back in the old days, in my old days. All right, so you get to Detroit, and it was like, who is this dude?
Well,
He was
Detroit.
amazing.
Detroit was. They had some great players there, but they were young.
Yeah.
They couldn't get over. They couldn't get over.
Right.
Just couldn't get over that top.
Right.
Of the
They couldn't get past Boston at the time.
So they brought me in. I was the older guy,
Uh-huh.
and we had some success.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we really was going to have some success, that's when I got traded.
Right.
The
right.
controversial
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah. All right. So So when you first got there, though, when you did get them over the top, you got them past Boston. But I got to tell you, what I remember, two things I remember about you when you played for Detroit during that time period: the socks, the long white socks, which was in vogue, and the move. That move where you would cradle the ball and back people down. How did you develop that? Because you're not a small guy, but by NBA standards, you weren't the biggest guy. But you took on some big guys with that move backing people down.
Well, that was just the system that we ran at Detroit. I really didn't back down that much when I was at Utah.
Uh-huh.
Other teams I was facing up.
Okay.
But the key was, the strategy was I was supposed to draw a double team.
Okay.
So guys can get open shot. But I developed the backing in, Earl Monroe, watching them backing
Right.
people down.
Uh-huh.
Big O, backing people down, shooting over top of them. So it was a skill that it was something that I developed.
Mm-hmm.
Also in high school, in college, even though I was 6'5", we had guys at 6'10", 6'11", I was the best inside player.
Yeah.
So coaches always had me play inside. I didn't like it,
Uh-huh.
but that's what they did.
Okay. All right. So now let's talk about the controversy, because you didn't win that for what, first year, second year in Detroit, first year.
Well, we got to the semifinals.
Got to the semifinals.
We had Boston one year. We had Boston on the ropes.
Right.
That's when I
That's-
dove for a loose ball.
Right.
Had a concussion. We
Right.
lost that series.
Mm-hmm.
Then we came back the following series. That's when we took Boston.
Right. So then the controversy. Talk about the controversy, because you eventually got traded from Detroit. It was a good fit. It was a good look.
Right.
You got traded. Isiah Thomas wanted his boy to come over there, Mark Aguirre. Look at your face. I don't want to dig all that out, but
the bottom line is, it's funny. It's been over 30 years, 34 years, and I can be in the airport and somebody said, "Man, that was messed up what they did."
It was pretty messed up.
I mean, so it's amazing how people still remember that. But
Right.
but basically, we didn't get along. That's the bottom line.
You and Isiah didn't get along.
No,
You
we
never
didn't
got along the whole time you were there?
Well, he was. We didn't get along.
Okay.
So the bottom line was, I got traded.
Mm-hmm.
He ran the team. I mean,
Right.
he will deny it, but he
Right,
ran
right.
the team.
Uh-huh.
And it's just a coincidence that he brought his best friend there.
Yeah,
so
Mark Aguirre.
They end up playing together, and I
Yeah.
end up getting traded.
Right. Now, is it true that after they won, they did win a championship? I think they won back to back. But did they send you a ring, or is that true, or is that a rumor?
No, they kept saying it, but I wouldn't want to ring him. I'm not that type.
No,
of
no,
guy.
you're like, I didn't earn that. I don't want that,
no,
right?
no.
Okay. Were you? I mean, you didn't get along with him anyway. So was there?
I wouldn't say I didn't get along with him, but I was professional when I was
Right.
on the basketball court.
Uh-huh.
If he was open, I passed him the ball.
Right.
It wasn't that
Yeah.
petty, but I just, that's just
Right.
the way it is.
Is there? I mean, I know it's a long time ago. Any bitterness or any hostility? I don't know if you've even seen him since then.
No, I don't talk to him when I've seen him a couple times.
You have talked to him or have not?
No, I have not
Oh,
talked
you
to
have not talked to him. Okay.
I
All right.
saw him one time in the Hall of Fame, just nodded at him.
Okay.
That thing.
Right.
But no, I don't have. Bottom line, he don't like me. I don't like him.
Right, gotcha. Okay, so what after Detroit, you got traded. You got traded to Dallas for Mark Aguirre. How was that?
Well, at that time, I didn't really feel like playing basketball. I played, but I wasn't in it.
Right,
Didn't have the spirit,
right,
and ended up playing there and just phased out.
right.
Went to Europe a couple years, and that was the end of my career.
European basketball is popular now, but was it popular then when you went over there? Was it? It's a different style of basketball. We
Yeah,
know that.
well, most players when they play in the NBA, most of them, they'll go to Europe for 2 years to play. Some guys like McAdoo went over there and played
Right.
I don't know, for a long time.
Right.
And
You're talking about Bob McAdoo.
Bob
who
McAdoo
played with the Braves. Did he play with you with the Braves?
played with the Rams. Yeah.
Okay, and
Bob-
then he eventually played with the Lakers.
All right.
All right. Okay.
I played with McAdoo my rookie year,
Okay.
and he was his 5th or 6th year
Wow.
at Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason why I like him is because when you're a rookie,
Uh-huh.
you're supposed to do everything for the veterans.
Right.
Like
They treat you pretty bad, huh?
go to Dunkin' Donuts, give me some donuts, or go to McDonald's. Or,
Even back then, they were dogging you, huh?
They didn't dog me. I can remember when veterans used to tell me, hey, Rook, do this, or when you go to the airport, you're supposed to take all the bags
Right.
to the veterans. I said, no, I'm not doing that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing that.
And what happened? They did nothing?
They didn't say. I said, I'll tell you what. Let's play one-on-one.
Uh-huh.
If you beat me, I get your bags. If I beat you, you get my bags. So, case.
And you didn't have to carry anything.
No, I had to carry
Yeah,
the
okay,
bag.
all right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So life after basketball. Where'd you go from there after? So basketball is done. No more Europe. No more NBA. What happened next with Adrian then?
I've been kind of taking it easy.
Uh-huh.
I coached at Townsend State.
Okay.
Coach wanted me over there for about 4 or 5 years, and I worked out players on a regular basis. Then I ended up going to Denver. I coached at Denver. I was assistant coach at Denver
Okay.
Nuggets for 8 years.
Good experience being on the bench, or was it hard dealing with today? Well,
It's
what
good.
was today's?
It's a good experience, but it's a different players.
Right. Different era.
A lot of people on the outside don't have a clue what's it like on the inside of an NBA team.
Right.
Like when I hear interviews, I hear people talk, hey, coach got to really get on the guy.
Yeah.
It's not like that in the NBA.
No, they're all adults.
You got to get along with the guy or you might be gone.
It's that simple, huh? It's not like dealing
It's
with
a lot.
kids.
It's a lot of that. It's a lot.
Really?
You got to get along with the guy.
Uh-huh.
If you try to be hard, and when I hear people say you got to be hard on the guys, you got to be tough, you got to curse them out,
It's not happening.
you'll be out quick.
You're out the door. You're out the door.
You got a few teams,
Right.
Popovich,
Yeah. Well, he's
but overall,
yeah.
the majority of them,
Yeah.
you can't act the way people want you to act.
Right.
When you hear them talking about, get on, coach got to get on the players. It's
Right.
it's a different era.
Right. What about in college? Is it that way in college too, or is it?
No, the college
you can do
coaches
it.
they control the players. Yeah,
Okay,
they
gotcha.
control the
But
players.
when it comes to the grown dudes, you can't do that.
No.
Can't do that at all. All right. So life after that. So you're done coaching and you're doing your thing. You got your family after that, or during that time period. How many kids?
I got one boy and two girls.
One boy, two girls. Are they basketball players?
No, they're not basketball players. I don't know. My boy played football, but the girls, I guess I was too hard on them. They didn't like to run. You got to run if you play basketball.
Is that right?
Yeah, I hate running, but I still got to run.
Because you got to play basketball.
Right.
So, because a lot of times when people have kids and they have some success in any sport, and they try to direct the kids don't want to hear it from the parents.
Well, I never forced my kids to play any ball. I wanted them
Right.
to play, but I never forced them. So that's something that you have to want. The kid has to want
Right.
more than the parent. You have a lot of parents who want their kids to be.
I know. Trust me, I know all about that.
Players and
Yeah.
And I have a lot of good friends. They always used to say, "My son this, my son can do this." I used to tell them, "Hey, every parent think their son is the best player."
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy? And then you go out here and you watch some of them play, and you're like, "Are you sure? Is that the guy? Is that the kid you were talking about?" But does it amaze you though that when you're looking at today's athletes and today's kids, the way that the parents are responding, whether it's my son or my daughter is the greatest, or why isn't my son playing, or this coach stinks because my son didn't have it his way, and then I got to go find another team. Are you surprised by all of that?
Oh, no, I'm not surprised, but you see that all the time. It's amazing how many players they go to different high schools.
Yeah.
And like last night, I was officiating the game, and the parents say, "Hey, my son is real good. You missed that call. He might get hurt. You might mess his career up if you don't make that call." So everybody think their son is going to be the best, or going to be one of the best.
Yeah. What kind of advice would you give to parents who are, I don't know, all into sports and think that some of them might think this is the way out of, or their meal ticket, if you will?
There's nothing wrong with that, but the way it is today, I would tell every parent, hey, focus on your education.
Yeah.
Because something can happen to you. If you're not educated, it's going to be difficult for the kid. So have that good balance between the two, and just see what happens.
Yeah. Focus on education. What else does